Adoptions with Love is a full-service domestic adoption agency serving people on all aspects of the adoption triad across the United States. We're very personalized. We have a lot of care and concern and have very close personal relationships with all the people that we work with. When we meet a woman who's facing an unintended pregnancy, she is in complete crisis. She's thinking, why did this happen to me? How am I going to navigate this? I don't know what to do.
When I found out I was pregnant, I had no idea what I was going to do.
I was 15 when I found out I was pregnant.
I was very scared. I didn't know how to tell my parents.
When I found out I was pregnant, I was 7 months pregnant, so obviously it was a whirlwind of emotion.
So I actually kept it a secret until the day I had the baby.
I knew that if I kept her and was still in high school, it would have been a large, great struggle.
And I was thinking of different ways that I was going to be able to raise the baby. I was like, oh my goodness, I have no money. What am I going to do?
I didn't want him to look back at his childhood and remember a single mom, who was never there because she was always working. I wasn't ready. I couldn't give the life that he needed or wanted to my baby, so.
Adoption is a difficult decision. It is truly the most difficult decision any woman can ever make in their lifetime.
I needed to educate myself on adoption, on being a single mother, and see which would be the best option to give my son the most security.
I wanted to give Kayla the life that I never got to have, and two loving parents who would take good care of her for the rest of her life.
When a young woman finds out that she has an unintended pregnancy, it is completely devastating. It's also completely devastating when a couple thinks that they're going to start a family and they find out that they're infertile.
We tried, on our own, of course, for many years, and it wasn't working. And then I discovered that due to my medical condition that I was unable to conceive on my own.
We decided we were just going to move on and not have kids, but we didn't feel like that settled with both our hearts.
And the idea of having a child that maybe I didn't give birth to was something I was totally open to. So I started looking into adoption and the adoption process.
One of the key elements to the adoption process is when the adoptive family creates a profile of their life. This is the beginning process of the expectant parents choosing a family for their child.
While I was at the hospital, I think it was one of the nurses said, oh, we have an adoption counselor who would like to come to talk to you. Before I made the decision on my son's parents, I felt so bad reading these families that are just looking for a child, and I knew they would be great parents, they just didn't fit with my story. While we were flipping through the different books, we saw these two people, and we just were like, they kind of look like our family, they have some of the same features, they looked fun.
What we have found in 30 years of doing this is that if we really have each partner in a relationship write about themselves, what they see in each other, and why they want to adopt, and what being a parent will mean to them, it really strikes a chord with these women.
I knew I found the right family actually the second I read their profile. I couldn't explain it, and I still can't explain it, but it just felt right.
And once I read their letters, I knew right off the bat that they were perfect. And then when I finally met them, that just really sealed the deal that I could be completely happy with them being his parents, and I wouldn't have to worry. Well, I mean, I would, but not as much.
Once she's selected a family, we will call that family and let them know they've been selected. Usually the first thing that happens when we call that family is they say, "You're kidding me." And I usually say, we don't kid about something like this.
The first time we got the phone call, we were beyond excited. We couldn't wait to meet our little bundle of joy.
It was just a very overwhelming, happy, positive experience.
It was such a special moment for us, finally, after so long, and so many twists and turns to become parents, and to meet Chip for the first time was an amazing moment.
We met Lucas's birth mother and his birth father in the hospital.
And she was, such a strong person. And I remember crying when we left. And she said, "I know you're going to be a great mother." And I thought, the best gift that she could have ever, given me. I'll never forget that.
His birth mom, she's an incredible woman, incredible young woman, so selfless, so loving, and so giving. She handed him to us because she knew that we'd provide him with a forever home that she couldn't at that point.
John and I were in the birthing room. The birth mom, who we love, she said to the nurses, "I want him to smell her first." And so the nurses handed him to me, and I just cried, and it was the most amazing day of my life for both of us.
You cried sadness, or?
No, it was tears of joy when we saw you. You were the best thing that ever happened. You and Nicholas, the best thing that ever happened to us.
When an expectant woman feels that adoption is the best decision for her child, she does it out of great love, concern, and selflessness.
We're very grateful to her for the selfless gift that she gave to us. I don't want her ever to doubt our appreciation for her and the fact that Gemma will grow up knowing who she is and what she did for Gemma.
They performed the most generous act, I think, that is conceivable. And not because of what they did for us, but because of the dream that they were able to imagine for their babies.
Know that your sacrifice has blessed our families, and it's truly like God just gave us the most awesome gift ever.
And while he wasn't born in Edie's belly, he was born in our hearts, and his story and his mom certainly will be told, and he's going to feel really comfortable about everything.
In a hospital, you'll see the words, "baby up for adoption." But that's not really what this is. This is a thoughtful, planful, sacrificing process that these women and men go through who are making an adoption plan for their child for the rest of their lives.
I want Harrison to know that I did the absolute best thing for him. I hope he realizes that someday in the future. I just want him to know that I didn't not love him. I'll always love him, but it wasn't out of hate or that I didn't want him or anything. It was just that I knew that it would be the best life for him was to be with his parents now, not with me.
I want her to know that I love her and that I'm happy that she's growing up to be a strong, independent little girl. And it's definitely a good match, I think.
Adoption is probably the best thing you can do. Being able to watch your little one be able to grow up, be happy with a family.
And that's what adoption is really filled with: sorrow, joy, and a lot of love for everyone involved.
Open adoption has probably been the greatest thing. They send me pictures of him all the time and just update me on his doctor's appointments, how much he weighs, what he looks like, his new clothes. So when you need to just feel that connection, you can, but if you don't, then you don't. So it's nice.
I was nervous at the beginning to see her. I didn't know how she would react, if she would be scared or happy. But after we got the initial meeting over with, it was fun, and it was good to talk in here about her growing and everything.
It was very hard, obviously, to see my baby being parented by someone else, but I don't know. It really made me feel so much better to see, have us all together and then have them together with just the three of them. And I don't know, it was very comforting to see it in action, I guess.
At the end of the day, these girls know they have a lot of people who love them. Some of them are from Massachusetts. Some of them are from Indiana. And that's just all there is to it.
There can be something so amazing from allowing your son to have or daughter to have a relationship with their biological parents. If everyone has their security, it can be something so amazing because there's no such thing as too much love. And in my story, it's all around love.
I believe that this openness will help the children As they grow up, they will know who they are and why their birth parents made this very difficult decision and sacrifice for them.
I first learned about adoption kindergarten, maybe first grade. I didn't really get it at first, but the older I got and the more I asked about it, the more I understood what it meant. Most people think that you're adopted because your family doesn't want to, whereas I learned it's because they wanted me to have a better life and a better chance at having happiness.
I've never felt any sort of anger towards my birth mom. She gave me the life that I have. She could have chosen to do 100 different things, and instead she chose to help me find a family that was right for me and that I was right for.
My mom obviously couldn't take care of me at the time, and I think she knew that it was a better decision to, send me to a family who could take care of me. And the older I get and the more I think about it and the more I talk about it, and especially being with Max and hearing his perspective on it, it definitely has shaped my vision on what adoption really is.
Adoptions with Love feels like a real community to us.
One of the greatest things that they do is to get everybody together and encourage baby groups and family groups after the kids are born.
We thought we were going to adopt a child. We never thought we would get
Whole set of friends.
I mean, how could we not be happy with Adoptions with Love? We wanted to have a beautiful little daughter, and it worked out so much more than we ever expected.
Knowing your story in life is very important. We hope to help empower women to create the narrative for their child, to tell them their story, so that this young child growing into a young adult will know what their story is and know their history.
The most important aspect of adoption, and really the most important person in this whole process, is the child. Each child comes into this world innocent, and they deserve the best. And that's what we're trying to provide at Adoptions with Love.
Adoptions with Love
provides compassionate,
confidential,
and trustworthy services
to find the best home for each child,
with lifelong support
for everyone touched by adoption.